Good evening. Today we'll be presenting our recommendations for the Los Barrios Unidos case. Our research and recommendations are centered upon the two goals Los Barrios Unidos is looking to achieve. The first of these goals is to increase the percentage of patients seen within 15 minutes of their appointment time to 50%. The second is to reduce per-patient cost of services by 10%. We also want to keep in mind LBUCC's ultimate mission, to improve the lives of people living in West Dallas by delivering quality health care, which throughout a process kept us on a patient-centered approach. And so after visiting LBUCC, talking to staff and patients, looking at blueprints and time studies, and even consulting with the medical architect, we found certain inefficiencies in the system. And these inefficiencies were leading to a bottleneck in patient flow, which made it not only difficult to perform optimally, but it also prevented the clinic from making additional improvements that could allow Los Barrios to better serve its mission. We suggest that if Los Barrios adopt a patient scheduling app, incorporate a triage room, and change the provider mix, they can decrease this bottleneck, leading to increased efficiency and seeing more patients in a timely manner, and ultimately achieving the two goals that is set out to reach. And with increased efficiency on the front end, we suggest that Los Barrios redesign the patient waiting room to better achieve its mission and enhance the experience of whom it serves. Throughout tonight's presentation, we'll begin by talking about our recommendations to improve Los Barrios, and then talk about the financials and potential sources of funding that can be used to achieve these impacts. To begin, the first idea we're recommending is implementing SimplyBook.me, an appointment scheduling platform. We saw SimplyBook.me as a great way to complement LBU's other services. Listed above are some of the key features of SimplyBook.me. Many of these features provide patients with much greater initial satisfaction, allowing them to schedule appointments when they want in a manner that is much easier and faster than before. As you can see, this is the current online scheduling system for LBUCC. Patients can go here online and only request an appointment. However, this is what the scheduling process for patients could look like at LBUCC. The image on the right is the web widget offered by SimplyBook.me that can be easily integrated into LBUCC's website and Facebook page. And the image on the left is the smartphone app. As you can see, this is a very user-friendly platform and allows patients to look at all available appointment times and schedule their own appointments at a time most convenient for them, rather than just requesting an appointment online and waiting for a callback. One of the main focuses of the app is decreasing no-shows, and seeing over 11,000 patients a year, LBU is bound to be plagued by this problem. One of the main reasons for patient no-shows nationally is that patients feel as though their time is not valued. But in particular, at Los Barrios Unidos, patients don't show up due to their inability to get a ride to the clinic. Per our sources at Los Barrios Unidos, it's safe to assume that there's an 18% no-show rate. This amounts to over $200,000 in revenue lost annually. However, studies from Appointment Plus report have shown that by using a reminder system and patient scheduling app like SimplyBook.me, no-shows can be reduced by up to 50%. Even just a modest 10 to 20% reduction could yield almost $50,000 in lost revenue. And a recovery closer to 50% could recover over $120,000 in revenue that was once lost to no-shows. Another benefit of SimplyBook.me platform is that it gives Los Barrios Unidos a new and unique way to market the clinic. It has the ability to run promotions that can be sent out through text or emails and allows LBU to use their current clientele to recruit new patients for the clinic. It also offers an ability to send comeback soon reminders, which are just friendly reminders for follow-ups, which also help to advertise services to patients of the clinic or remind them to schedule future appointments. This is particularly important for the OB department in retaining patients for pediatrics. Imagine a mother in the OB department just gave birth to a child. The comeback soon reminders would remind her to bring her child back to LBUCC for vaccines and future follow-up pediatric appointments. This can have a real impact on the finances, because by just seeing an additional 4 patients per day across the OB department, this could lead up to an 8% decrease in cost per patient or a $100,000 increase in annual revenue. Not only will the clinic be satisfied, but so will the patients, because they can now schedule appointments for when they can make it to the clinic, be seen sooner, and feel more involved in their experience at Los Barrios Unidos. Our next recommendation targets rearranging patient flow within the clinic to promote efficient use of space and staff and to ultimately decrease stress and confusion for patients. Based on time study data and model simulations, we found that the number of exam rooms is not the primary cause of long wait times. Thus, our recommendation is that LBUCC make use of the space it already has and convert the sick pediatric waiting area into a triage room to be used for non-essential patient tasks. Currently, non-essential tasks like taking a patient's vital signs are occupying valuable and limited exam room space or being conducted in the area pictured above on the right. If we're able to free up more exam room space, this makes providers more efficient and patients are seen faster. Upon visiting the clinic, it became apparent to us that this designated sick pediatric waiting area, pictured on the left above, is extremely underutilized. Since neither of the current options are conducive to efficient use of space or patient comfort, we've recommended that the sick pediatric area in the general waiting room be relocated as a triage space for non-essential pre-appointment tasks. The picture on the right shows what the current sick pediatric area looks like. By adding a partition down the center and curtains across the front and frosting the glass windows for patient privacy, those providers can easily convert the space into 2 triage rooms. After consulting with a contractor, this would only cost about $2,000 and create the added benefits of more efficient patient flow and use of exam room space. Next, we would like to introduce the concept of evidence-based design that was introduced to us by a medical architect. Evidence-based design is a concept that dates back to the early 90s. It's based on scientific evidence demonstrating that patient wellness improves based on certain design strategies in the clinical setting. This concept has gained increasing popularity, particularly in the healthcare sector, where physiological and social needs of patients have become increasingly important. Since wait time for patients is currently an issue at LBU, the waiting room has the potential to put patients at ease and decrease perceived wait time. The picture above shows the current waiting area at LBU, which does not stand out as a comfortable environment upon patients' first perceptions of the clinic. We recommend targeted improvements to the waiting area in order to enhance the overall clinic experience. Here you can see a sample of what would be described as the ideal waiting room. When considering aspects to include in waiting room design, clinics should keep in mind elements such as informational brochures, patient privacy, multiple options for comfort seating, plants, and interactive children's elements, especially since this waiting room is shared with pediatrics. We recommend a complete waiting room redesign using a budget of approximately $15,000 to $20,000 in order to decrease perceived wait times for patients and increase patient comfort while waiting. Since the previous image is a very specific example of what could be done, we found multiple other seating options that Los Barrios could implement within the waiting room redesign. Each of these options were chosen with a focus on the elements of color, privacy, comfort, durability, and diversity. Lastly, the inclusion of a small water and snack bar at about $1,500 can again be used to reduce perceived wait time and enhance the patient experience. Now that we've covered the more patient-centered recommendations, we can get into the finances. After looking at the numbers and time studies, we found that by slightly altering the current provider mix, we can decrease the cost per patient by up to 12%. We've come up with 3 different options, but we'll focus our attention on what we believe to be the best. This change allows LBU to achieve their impact while still maintaining quality and access to care. Our recommendation is to have 1 full-time MD, 1 part-time MD for high-risk cases, 1 full-time sonographer, and 2 full-time nurse practitioners. Our recommendation streamlines the number of providers and adds a full-time NP without decreasing the total number of available providers at any given time. By streamlining the current providers, this solution could increase patient volume and decrease the current bottleneck caused by multiple contract providers who are often just late traveling from hospital to hospital. This option would save $178,000 annually, which reaches a goal of 10% decrease in cost per patient and still leaves an additional $28,000 savings that can be used as a budget for our proposed recommendations. Furthermore, we'd like to address the potential for further growth in finances. While our recommendations are well under the budget by about $4,000, utilizing these resources allows LBUCC to continue to expand and improve in the future. The foundations listed above will fund remodeling and provide other resources to clinics such as LBU. The great thing about organizations such as these is that, like LBU, they aim to address the needs of underprivileged populations. After reaching out to Half Price Books, they've already agreed to donate an assortment of books so that the interactive waiting room can come to life. They even want to accommodate all individuals of LBUCC by donating bilingual books. Now let's approach a completely different method for receiving money. Imagine LBU as the focal point of this gala pictured here. Imagine it being filled with physicians, community champions, politicians, and more importantly, all the people that believe in LBU's mission. This event will not only serve as a site for people to share a common goal, but it also serves as a marketing tactic. By increasing their name recognition outside of the Dallas area, they can garner larger support and funding for the community members to whom they serve. A sample press release and agenda for hosting such an event has been outlined in the case report for LBU. This sample press release serves as LBUCC's call for action. Other organizations have been very successful with this tactic. We hope that you found our solutions as compelling as we have and share our same great vision for Los Barrios Unidos. We would like to conclude by thanking the Los Barrios staff for providing us with all the resources and help we've needed. We'd like to thank the members of the West Dallas community for sharing your stories and inspiring us. We'd like to thank SMU Dr. Bing and Megan for presenting us with the opportunity to learn and grow. And we'd like to thank Southern Ellis for coaching us and sharing his expertise. Thank you.